So, have you seen some of the videos about measles in Canada? A lot of the videos are saying that, you know, measles is being spread at super spreader events in Calgary, in Alberta, in Western Canada, and stuff. And they're like, look at those Albertans. And people are all like dunking on them right now. And I find it so strange. So I'm just doing this video so that you can find the information about measles in Canada and understand that Alberta does not have the highest case of measles in all of Canada. And so, yeah, on the news, I saw that they were like, oh, yeah, there's more cases of measles in Alberta alone than in all of the United States. And it's like, yeah, unfortunately, the people who live in Alberta have to suffer because of this outbreak, which is very serious, and it's not something that you should be dunking on them for. So, and I'm just really alarmed that, like, other people in Canada are dunking on people in Alberta, being like, look at them, they're lawless, they don't want to get vaccines and stuff. And it's like, that's not always the case. There's people that live in, like, closed societies like Hutterites, or people who live in like First Nations and stuff like that, who live, away from areas where they can access public health, where you can get vaccines, and those people are vulnerable. And when some foreign person from, a different province or a different country comes into their community, they give them whatever sickness that they've got. So, things like measles spread like that too. Anyhow, Ontario has the highest count of measles in Canada, not Alberta. 2,245 out of the 3,822. This is from the government of Alberta and the government of Canada. If you go on the government of Canada website, there's a map and this chart. And this is as of July 5th. And, they update it pretty regularly. And so I just want to say the reason why it seems like Alberta has the highest cases of measles is, one, if you're in Alberta, when the news is written, it's written from the Albertan perspective. It's local news, so they talk about what's happening in Alberta first, not the rest of Canada. So it's super focused on Alberta if you live in Alberta. And if you look at that, there's only 3,000 cases, or almost 4,000 cases in Canada, and half of them are in Ontario already. And we all know that Ontario is so much bigger than Alberta, so there's a chance for more people to have measles. So I just think it's kind of deceptive that some people are like, oh, Alberta's spreading. They're going to have the Calgary Stampede, and it's a super spreader, and this is why we shouldn't have this event. And it's like, maybe they should have more education on measles, and that'll help to stop the spread of measles. But it's not like, people in Alberta are doing something extremely horrible that's spreading the measles. It's happening. So, and, measles can cause blindness and all the other sorts of, like, problems with your health and your, like, lungs and stuff like that. So I just think it's kind of unfair to be like, oh, those Albertans, those wild Western Albertans. That's just another part of the map from the government of Canada, like you can see down there, up to July 5th. And it shows that Ontario has the highest case in Canada, not Alberta. And the reason why it looks like Alberta has the highest case is because they're like, oh, it's per capita. You have the highest case, but it is not the actual number. The actual number is 3,822. And most of those cases are in Ontario. So you can press pause and you can zoom in on that if you want. So it has nothing to do with just the people of a certain region in Canada, and has to do with the fact that this measles is so transferable from person to person. Like, for example, if you're a baby at a certain age, you can't get your measles vaccine and stuff, so you might get it. You know what I mean? Just be nice again.